Wouldn't things be much simpler without a heart? When Lucas said that in Mistonia's Hope, I found myself empathizing with him. Despite being born into nobility, Lucas was abused, shunned, and betrayed until he lost faith in people. His self-loathing ran so deep that he longed to become a pure fae. Immortal fairies who exist untouched by grief, guilt, or regret. To Lucas, it wasn't about gaining power, it was about escaping the pain that came with having a heart, even if it meant giving up every emotion that made him who he was. I can't say I relate to Lucas in every way, but I understand where that longing came from. Though I don't hate human interaction the way he does, I've never been a social person either. When surrounded by others, I often feel like an outsider. I prefer my own company because it feels more peaceful. Looking back, a lot of that started when I was bullied in middle school simply for being too quiet. That's why the silence of the bystanders in Lucas's story hit me hard. When he was being mistreated by his half-brothers and stepmother, his father and the servants did nothing to stop it. While I was being bullied, everyone else just stood there too. No one stepped in or tried to help. And that hurt even more than the bullying itself. Lucas's isolation brought those memories back. It reminded me of the moment I began associating distance with safety. That mindset has stuck with me ever since. I'm still friendly with people, but I don't really let them in. Maybe if I don't let people get too close, they can't hurt me and I can't hurt them either. I still value deep connections, but I don't actively look for them anymore. Gradually, it's become harder for me to imagine what that kind of closeness feels like. That's why when Lucas admitted he didn't really understand what a best friend was supposed to be, I saw myself in those words. What resonated with me even more, though, was Lucas's desire to live without a heart. As someone who struggled with social anxiety, even everyday situations felt overwhelming. Crowded trains made me sweat. Eating in public made me dizzy. I was always convinced that everyone was judging me. No matter how many compliments I received, I couldn't believe them and assumed the worst. For years, I thought the solution was to erase those negative emotions entirely. Whenever intrusive thoughts appeared, I'd criticize myself for having them or push them away. Ironically, the harder I fought them, the louder they got. I was trapped in a constant battle with my own mind. Eventually, numbness sounded less like a curse and more like a relief. There were times I genuinely wished I could stop feeling altogether. If emotions were a button, I wanted to switch them off. Over time, I realized peace didn't come from getting rid of my emotions. The problem wasn't the thoughts themselves, but my reaction to them. Instead of fighting to suppress them, I began observing them without judgment. During a panic attack, I'd simply notice what was happening. My mind says everyone is looking at me, or my body is shaking, and allow those uncomfortable feelings to exist. Once I stopped trying to silence my emotions, they naturally grew quieter and lost their power. I finally came to see my mind as a sky where thoughts and feelings are passing clouds rather than permanent parts of who I am. In the end, I realized Lucas's story wasn't really about being heartless or free from suffering either. What ultimately changed him was opening his heart to someone he wanted to protect, Apris. For the first time, his heart wasn't just a source of pain, it became a source of purpose that gave his life meaning. Watching him choose to embrace his heart again showed me that healing isn't about never hurting again. It's about changing how we respond to our inner storms and finding reasons to keep going.